Good afternoon. It could have been morning, but it wasn't because I couldn't get me butt out of bed this morning. It was warm there, it's bitterly cold out here. Today's vlog brings us to downtown New York, stroke metropolis. You're looking around and thinking, no it's not. But technically it could be. And as we go through this vlog, you'll sort of learn the reason why. Okay guys, hope you enjoy that. Let's do this, let's have some fun. Filmmakers like to use what they call backdrops, facades, etc. False perspective, and what they generally do is they build something on top of an existing structure to make the basis of a film. And what I'll show you down here is come the other side of this bridge is a famous site. Okay. Here we are. Now this is Milton Keynes train station, but back in 1986 this whole area here was actually Metropolis, or downtown New York, because this is the film location and setting for the 1986 Superman 4 movie. This was basically the United Nations based around here, starring Christopher Reeves. All this, it's just changed a hell of a lot over the years now. None of these colourful little bits and pieces, ornaments were about. And yeah, this is where it was filmed. I suppose you would have had American flags, different flags up there, etc. Christopher Reeves and the other characters would have gone in there. Here would have been a hot dog stand. You would have had all these vehicles, all these buses, they were all shipped out. They moved everything, all these bus stops, etc. And what they did do is they asked people who lived in the local area who owned American vehicles, my father being one. Well, he got the vehicle off someone who had that. Anyone who had an American vehicle was invited to come down, park their vehicle here, so it gave the feeling of being American. No point having English cars in an American film set. So this was full of American school buses, lorries. My father had a Chevy Impala which was used here. It was also used in a scene as Superman flew over the M25. Obviously it wasn't being the M25 at the time, it was supposed to be some sort of road in America. But yeah, it's surprising what your imagination can do. What they done is they pretty much stacked on top of that, gave it a false perspective and made it look as if it was something like 50 stories high. But no, this Milton Keynes train station, otherwise known as Metropolis. 18 minutes of the movie Superman 4 was actually shot here in Milton Keynes. Strange, all that distance away from it. This is very off topic of today's subject, but this location here, the old bus station above there, used to be a nightclub. It was called Chicago's Rock Cafe. Had some great times there over the past. It's where I met my wife. How long have we been together? 26 years we've been together, and she couldn't live without me, and I won't let her live without me. So it's one of those things. But yeah, we had some great times. Anyone who remembers these sort of nightclubs, bygone era now. People just seem to spend most of the time either behind a computer or playing video games, having a drink at home. But then again, that is probably safer in the world we live in at the moment. This area years ago, back late 70s, early 80s, was all fields, and basically anyone who had dirt bikes, etc. would come along, ride round here. We did for a good 5+ years, and what was basically an artificial jump that had been there for a long period of time, we then discovered later on the reason why it was an artificial bump in the ground that turned into a jump is because during the Second World War it was either a bomber or a fighter jet was shot down. I don't know whether it was British Allied forces or German, but it was shot down. It ploughed into the field on Portway, and years later they found the wreckage with the pilot still in it. True history. We're now in the second sort of film location. This reminds me a heck of a lot like the MCO at Orlando International Airport, but this was the base for the Daily Planet in the Superman movie. Basically coming up here to your right hand side, this is our winter gardens, and they've done the second part of all the filming on this side, so I shall show you if I can. Okay. All this smells very swimming pool-y. Over the years they've done it up heck of a lot. They made some sort of ornate garden area down here, mainly for the workers. It's actually quite a pretty place. Sort of subtropical landscape within a building. Now up there would have been your nightclubs, but all this would have been used as setting for the Daily Planet all them years back. But quite a pretty looking place, that's for sure. Hello fishies, ain't got no food for you. But yeah, didn't even know you could go into this place. I guess it's where they spend their lunch hours, the people who work around it. This is Bannatyne's health and fitness place, but people who work in the offices have got access to all of this. I tell you what, it's really warm in here compared to outside. Yeah, very picturesque. Wave to the camera, Rach. Wave to the camera. Okay, that will conclude this part, or this section of this vlog. Now on to some other things that you might not have known about Milton Keynes. We got cows. Cows seem to be everywhere in Milton Keynes, statues of them. I don't know. Crazy things. They get everywhere. You lost, buddy? Are you going to spot me? Best you do. Around you go. Okay, kind of film related. This old distant relic that's been obsolete for, must be a good, coming up to 15 years now. That is the old AMC The Point. Milton Keynes landmark, been there for decades and decades. It was the UK's first multiplex cinema. It had 10 screens. There was a nightclub in there, there was bingo, bars, places to eat, etc. And the reason why it's specific with what we're doing today, because also back in the 80s, I mean, nowadays we have a film premiere, it'll be held in Leicester Square in London. Back then, with the grand opening of this, we had the premiere of the 80s movie Rocky IV. Sylvester Stallone turned up, so did Bridget Nielsen. Thousands of people come here just to see this new enterprise from the AMC Cinema Group. And it's fallen into disrepair. There is someone in there, I don't know what the company does, some sort of training, etc. But I'm not sure whether it's going to be about much longer. I thought, like the city centre is a listed building, so they can't actually knock it down. I don't know whether that falls into the same category. Possibly. It's one of those we'll have to wait and see jobs. In its time, it really was a beautiful sight to behold. As you would make your way in from, say, London on the A5, it would be one of the landmarks you see. Not so much for the distance, because on the outside, I don't know whether you can actually see, but there was LEDs and as such like that, that would basically light up and you could see it for miles like fireworks. It's a shame it's gone, but I guess we move on. Now the interior may have changed many times over the years, but back in 1979 this is the location of the first McDonald's in the UK outside of London. Okay, I've got two last spots to show you. The Milton Keynes shopping centre itself, if you walked all the way around it and done a complete loop, it's 1.6, 1.7 miles. So if you wanted to keep fit, it was horrible weather, just walk around here several times a day, that'll do you some good. Okay, as we film for the last of the two spots, back in 1981, if you're into music at all, not my sort of thing, this guy, but Cliff Richard, used to be Cliff Richard and the Shadows, he done a pop video up here with everyone on roller skates, and it was called Wired for Sound. So if you look at the video, look at these walls of himself and all the dancers going around on roller skates, this is where it was actually filmed. And Milton Keynes has got 40 plaques to celebrate 40 years of Milton Keynes, and plaque number 1 is depicted here, and we have a history, it goes through the mileage, etc. How old the city centre is, what it was, the distance, what it was built with, it being listed building, etc. But these little facts are everywhere. Okay, we've reached the last spot of this vlog. Now this location here, and with Milton Keynes being about shopping and tailoring, it is pretty adamant that it comes into line with this group. This group had 3 tailors in the group. Now I don't know whether that's come to any of your imagination now, what they made it big in America in the 80s, in the 90s also, and they're known as New Age, New Romantics, some would even turn around and say, but the group in question was Duran Duran. This was the film shoot or photo location for their first ever single, which was Planet Earth, and here's the picture of them there, standing in front of where it basically happened. Now there's a plaque over on the wall there, I'll show you that. But yeah, Duran Duran, the group that smashed America, this is the very location where they started. Strange as it may seem. February the 2nd, now it's not too far away now. What are we now, February the 5th? Yeah. February the 5th, that must have been 81, so we're talking 41 years ago possibly. Wow. And I said there's a plaque coming up soon. And here you go. Here is your plaque. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed it. That ends the first part of today's double vlog that I'm going to do. If you've enjoyed this, you might want to look at the next vlog that's coming up, which is going to depict some of the things that you can do if you're staying in Milton Keynes for a weekend or so. It's not just the shopping centre that's behind me. There is plenty to do. It doesn't matter what the weather is, because a lot of this stuff is indoors. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. I'll catch you in the movies. See you next time, guys. Be safe. Have a good one. Bye.